When growing up, we used to see planes passing by, we used to fly in the sky. I remember there's a time when we were young, we pretended to make a plane with my brothers, but it didn't fly. Back in the 90s, we were at our grandfather's place. It was raining heavily. It usually does rain heavily, but that day it really rained heavily. I can't remember. Then there's too much lightning in Western Kenya. Our home area is flat, but we do have frequent of lightning. And that day, lightning struck and it burned a tree. We wondered why the tree got burnt by that lightning. As kids, we didn't know what it was. But when we were asking our mom tells us that it is electricity which has done what? Has burnt it down. So we asked her, where's the electricity? We can't see it. Because in a rural home, there was no electricity by then. So she told us, you grow up, learn, study physics, you'll know more about electricity. So we were eager to know more about electricity, and actually most of us in the family went and chose physics, and it was a favorite subject. To disapprove my colleagues that it is also possible, because they always say females are not supposed to study science, and they discourage, okay, actually, according to the Africans, they don't value educating a girl child. But a girl child has a right to learn. At my age, I know I'm right now facing oppositions from my aunties. They're telling me, why am I wasting my time studying instead of getting my own home? But I have to study. I would love to be a role model in science to other ladies in Africa. Not only in physics and space science, but in science in general, because science is wide. And once you become a role model, for you to become a role model, you have to lead the way. I know there are many ladies ahead of me in science, but they get lost. If there is one, they disappear, or they don't stand out to tell it out because they're shy. But for one to be a role model, one has to be strong. I wanted to help my community learn more, because most of the things that happen around, most of them don't believe it is about science. They associate it with much with culture and superstitions. So if they're enlightened about what's taking place, climate changes, and what's taking the development in the world, they should not be afraid to embrace change. It's good. When you look at Africa in general, most people are used to traditional way of life, of living. Most of them, like when you start from cooking, they cook traditionally, using lots of firewood, meaning they have to deforest the land. And there are hazards accompanied by deforestation. When you look at medication, most of them don't believe in sickness. They say sickness is superstition. But when it comes to the medical field, they can get good care, medical treatment, and they get cure. But they don't believe it. Even there's some who can't take the children to hospital. Even like from my community, they believe traditional circumcision is the best way for the male children, which sometimes it doesn't go out well, meaning the boy has to go back to hospital when he's already injured. But with education and sensitization, most of them are now embracing science and technology and going to hospital and embracing the new changes around. The universe soon can also become like a global village, because soon with technology, people were like viewing life going to be able to exist on Mars. such like inventions are going on, which makes us all feel like, let me venture into space and see. Because I feel like one day I should go step on the moon, so one day go step on the planet Mars, and one time, who knows, Mercury maybe, but with the hotness of the sun, we don't know, but one time it can be possible. I want to learn more about the outer space. From the religious point of view, we always know that heaven is upward. One time I want to go up there, the skies, to see actually where is that heaven. In my final year in school, I did a research in magnetic storms, the effect of magnetic storms on ionospheric sphere along the equatorial region. And in my research, I learned a lot about the sun, its movements, what the events taking place in the sun that leads to the magnetic storms on the earth. That leads also to the auroras being seen at the polar cap, but at the equator we rarely see them, because currently there are even telescopes out in the space monitoring the sun. So I was like, let me see, what is it? Does it have an impact on us? Yes, it does. Because when the magnetic storm does happen, they also have an effect to us down here. They make the atmosphere to be more charged. They affect the radio transmissions, because our radio transmission relies on the ionosphere for the transmission of the waves. But when there is too much ions, plasma from the space, they interfere with the waves in the ionosphere, making them, they like deform. They are no longer visible as waves and they cannot transmit. I would like to advise other ladies and girls who are interested to study science, space science, to be strong and courageous, not to be distracted by those who are not focused and those who don't want them to succeed in the area they feel like doing.